Today we're gonna create this awesome game in Construct 3. Thanks to this guy for mentioning it. Okay, let's create our project. It's gonna be Flappy. In this size, I'm gonna copy the size and paste it in here. Let's call this game, and event sheet needs to be game sheet. Also, we need to make it unbounded scrolling, and let's call this BG layer and make it dark background color for it, just like this. I'm gonna create a new layer here, call this game, and now we need to have our shooter object. Double click, search for sprite, open it from assets folder, make it bounding box. You need to enable this one, and hit origin point. In here we need to have another origin point for the position of shooting. That's gonna be in here, and we have our shooter object. Now we need to have a platform for the jumping of this object. We need to have 3500 for gravity and max follow speed. Let's disable this, and now we need to have touch, and let's make this object jump by adding new group here, shooter, hit B button on any touch end, and in here shooter set vector y minus 1100, and yeah, we have it in here. Let's run. You can see that it's jumping very well. We need to make the game look like full screen, so let's go in here and make it scale outer. Now it's okay. Now we need to make the shooter shoot. Okay, so we need to have our bullet object. Search for sprite, open it from here, and let's just call this bullet. It needs to have bullet behavior, and it needs to have this speed, and doesn't need to have set angle, and we need to destroy this first object. So let's create a new group called start. On a start of layout, we need to destroy the bullet, and in here we need to shoot, and for shooting we need to have timer. So let's add timer behavior, and let's say if shooter created uncreated, we need to enable a new timer called shoot, and it needs to be regular, and we need to shoot every 0.2 seconds, just like this. And we need to have this tag copied, and in here shooter on timer shoot, we need to create our bullet. So in here system create object bullet on layer game on position of shooter dot image point x of 1 and shooter dot y, and yeah, let's run. You can see that it's shooting, but we need to remove the bullets when they go outside of the screen. So in here hit B button, bullet is on screen, hit I on the keyboard for making it invert, and in here bullet destroy. Now we are saving the RAM of the device. Okay, now we are shooting, but we need to have a target to shoot, that is gonna be block. So I'm gonna add our block object, open it from here, make it bounding box, and I'm gonna call this block and add a new family of it. Block's gonna be F block in here, and I'm gonna need to move them to the left side, moving columns of blocks to the left side by having this behavior 8 direction, and the speed needs to be 300. Let's disable this default control, and let's destroy this first object. So the creation gonna be like this. I'm gonna go in here, and take this one and make the grid size to 96 by 96, and this the creation is gonna be like this. You can see that we have 8 blocks in each column, and we need to create this by code. So in here we need to have a new group called block, hit B, and let's say we need to create them every 3 seconds. So hit B button, copy this action, and let's call this create blocks, and needs to create them every 3 seconds. And in here copy it and go in here, and let's say on timer create blocks. We need to call this create blocks function, create blocks. Okay, and in here let's add our for loop, for from 0 to 7, that means 8 times. We're gonna create our block objects just like this. The first position of the starting position needs to be 288 for the y, so I'm gonna make it 288 plus loop index multiply by 96 is the grid size multiply by 2. So it's gonna create the blocks from here to the bottom. And for the X, we need to make it outside of the screen. So it's gonna be viewport width layer 0 plus 100, and yeah, we are creating them by having this function, but we need to actually move them to the left side. So hit B button in here and lock simulate control, and the control needs to be left, and also we need to call this function at a start of layout. So I'm gonna paste this calling function in here. So we're gonna create them at a start. Yeah, we have them moving. Okay, every 3 seconds we have a new column of blocks. So now these blocks needs to have different colors and different random numbers on them, and the number is going to be their health. Okay, so let's click on this object, have a new health or number variable, and let's just add our text object for showing the number of blocks. So double clicking here, search for text, put it in here, make it 50, make it center, and it needs to show the text like this, and it needs to have this fonts, import fonts. And I'm gonna open them from here. These are the web fonts we're gonna use. We have bold and medium, but I'm gonna choose bold for this one. So this is gonna be the font, and we need to destroy this first object. So text destroy, but before that we need to call this txt block. Okay, so in here, when we create our block, we need to create our txt block 2. So it's going to be block.x, block.y. It's going to create them on blocks positions, and we need to add child for block, txt block, destroy with parent, and we need to show a number, and before showing that we need to add that number, add a random number to block. So in here, block set value, number is going to be int random between 5 and 15, and in here text going to show this number. it's gonna be block dot num. Okay, and let's run. So we have the blocks going to the left. Oh, these are looking weird. Okay, this is because we set this set angle to smooth, but we need to make it no. I think that's gonna fix the bug. All right, come on. Yeah, it fixed. Okay, now we need to have different random colors for the blocks. So I'm gonna get that color and make that color for blocks by having a new function. And when block called that function gets a new random color. So let's add our function in here. I'm gonna call this pick color, and in pick color we need to have a local variable called let's say vnum. Okay, and vnum gonna be random, just like this, int random between 1 and 8, and it doesn't include the number 8, so it's going to be between 1 and 7. Okay, and in here we're going to say if vnum is equal to 1, we need to return a color value. So it's going to be RGBX blah blah blah. I'm gonna make it after adding the events. So let's add 7 times 7 colors: number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 and 6, and also 7. Okay, so in here let's just work on this color. First color is gonna be like this one. I'm gonna copy the color code and paste it in here, and I'm gonna do it quickly for other colors. Okay, now we have the colors, but now we need to call this function. So in here, block set color functions, we're gonna call this just like this, functions. Why it's not showing that? Functions dot, oh shit. Oh, we need to make this return type to any or number for color. I'm gonna make it any and go in here and call the function in here, set color to functions dot pick color. Okay, so let's run. You can see that they are coming with different colors. Okay, so when we hit our blocks by bullet, the bullet needs to destroy, and also we need to subtract from the health of our blocks or number of our blocks. So let's go in here. I'm going to close this function, hit B button, and let's say if block collided with our bullet object, bullet needs to destroy, and also block needs to subtract from its number, and also we need to have different color for block, and we need to show the number of block, and also we need to say if block's number is equal or less than 0, we need to destroy the block. So in here it copy paste and R for replace to block, and we're gonna destroy the block. And yep, let's go and run. You can see that they are, oh My God. We need to specify the txt block of the collided block. So in here, let's say block pick children txt block. That needs to be show the text, not all of them. Okay, just like this, we have these blocks, and something that we need to add is putting the shooter on top of the block when it goes on top of it. Okay, so the block needs to have solid behavior, and for creating the blocks faster, I'm gonna make it 2, and let's make the speed to 400 maybe. And yeah, we have solid, and that solid gonna make a shooter stay on top of it. Okay, so let's run, and come on. All right, so we have this block, we have this shooter on it, on this position, but it goes with the blocks. For preventing that, we need to go in here and say we need to have a new variable here. I'm going to call this start x, and we're gonna set start x to shooter x at a start, and we're gonna say if shooter's x is not equal to start x, we're gonna make the x to start x. That's gonna make the x position of this object static. Okay. All right, they are coming. Very good. All right, now we have this issue fixed. But when we hit the blocks, we need to have game over screen and make the game over. Okay, so we need to have a new variable called game over, and let's say if shooter is overlapping block, but before that we need to say if game is not over, if shooter is overlapping block, and if shooter's x is bigger than block dot bbox left. The bbox left of blocks is in here. Then we need to make it game over, and we need to destroy the shooter. Okay, and after 1 second we need to reset the layout, reset global variables, and also restart the layout. And just like this, we're gonna have the game over. Okay, let's hit to this block. Okay, destroy it, but we need to stop moving of blocks. So in here, let's say if game is not over, move them to the left. Okay, now we need to have our showing a score text. So I'm gonna add a new text from this object, clone object type. I'm gonna put it just in here, align layout center horizontal, and make it white, and it's gonna be txt score, and it's gonna show 0 at first. And in here, when we hit block or destroy block, we need to add a score. But before that, we need to have score variable, and in here on collision with bullet, we need to add to a score, and also we need to show the score. Txt score is gonna show score, and when the block destroyed, we can add 5 score and show the score. Okay, let's run. Come on. Okay, we have it working very good. Now we need to have wall objects at the top and bottom for when shooter goes down. We need to make the game over. Okay, so let's add tile background black, and I'm gonna make the origin to top, make the opacity to 50, and put it in here just like this. That includes this area, and I'm gonna put another one in here, make it go to the bottom of layer, and just like this I'm gonna rotate it, put it in here. Okay, and in the code we need to make the width of them bigger because it's showing this small area. So in here, let's say tile background, set width to viewport width, viewport layer 0, and also the X of this object needs to be at the middle of the screen, layout width divided by 2. And now we have them fully in here. Okay, very good. But now we need to make the game over. So hit B button in here, create a new group called game over, and game over needs to have these actions, and in here we're going to call this game over and put this events here, this action in here, and also we need to say when shooter collided with tile background, we need to call this function too. And I'm going to call this object wall. Okay, let's see how it looks. Alright, the game is over. Gonna start from beginning, just like this. Now we have the game. You can add extra stuff to this. You can work around with the numbers we have and make the game more fun. Have a great day.